Okay, Amicini, I think we are all good. Ready? We started recording and...
We are ready, willing, and able, okay?
That's all right.
All right.
Okay, we ready, guys?
All right, let's go.
Let's go.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Serie audio experience with IFTV quarantine edition is what we'll call this podcast.
Our third episode already. And
is it three?
I think we're getting better. You guys like it. We like it. We don't have to be in the same room because of this, all what's going on. But I think for the most part, people are liking this.
I see Antonio already is a little bit annoyed because before a little banter, Antonio was trying to smack somebody in this chat already. Antonio, you're fired up already. You all right?
No, it's your father is teasing me. He thinks he can fool around with me, and then one of these days he's gonna get a kick on his ass.
Are you sure about one of these days?
Yeah.
We can't see each other anymore.
I know you're right. Hey, my goodness gracious! He probably will pay me to give him a kick on his ass. Right now, I can't even. I'm so listen. I cannot even believe that this is happening. I wanted to pinch myself. What did I do to deserve this? What have I done?
It's not just you.
It's everyone, Anto. This is tough.
What did we do? What did we do to deserve this? You know?
I mean, I don't think it's about deserving it. It's the cards that we're dealt, and we have to make the best of the situation and move past it. Yeah, I mean, I know you're being a little bit negative right now, but it's all right. It's gonna pass. It's gonna go through. Peter Gaetano, you got any words of encouragement for this guy?
Well, I think that we have to, like I said on the last time, we have to learn how to live with this. It's not that it's going to go away anytime soon. So 2 months from now, 3 months from now, you need to be aware of your environment. You need to respect the distance probably until we find a vaccine, which in England, they're going to start testing it in September.
Okay.
As of this morning, I got an email that there's an Italian doctor in England, and they're going to start testing it on humans in September. So we're hoping that this will, will come true. They find some medicine. The hydroxy seems like it's working on some people. I know some friends that were positive, and with this Z-Pack and hydroxy, they seems like it works. So we need to find the medicine, and then we need to also respect the distance. We might not be able to shake our hands anymore, but things are going to get better. We're going to, it's not that we just have to learn how to live with it. And that's it for the next few months until we find a vaccine.
Yeah, but they said the vaccine is going to be on maybe in about, they keep saying 12 to 18 months. I don't know what gives you the impression it's going to be a few months. They said just that the vaccine itself might take 12 to 18 months. So that means we have another 18 months been locked up.
In England, they're going to start testing it in September on humans. So.
But even before that, we already have a couple teams and leagues already making plans for what's going to happen in May. I think that a team today, I think it was Juventus, started calling back their players. And the idea or the rumors, I don't think any of it's confirmed, but it's what the newspapers are saying, that they're going to put everybody in a 2-week quarantine once they arrive back in Italy. Because a couple players, they went back to their home countries to stay with their families or whatever. And they want to ideally start the season by like May 27th and then finish it by the end of July. Or whatever it is. Obviously, you can make a prediction, but you don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. They usually kept pushing it back. First we said April and May. I mean, talking about that, I don't know if there's a point. We have a lot of questions that people have. If there's anything you guys want to input on that, P, you heard anything since you're in this world?
Well, in Serie A, there is no real sense of direction. I think everyone wants to say, hopefully late May will be a good time frame, but no one knows. Italy in general, the teams do not know when is the right time to start and what is a safe time to start, because the numbers, they seem to be going down, but people are still dying and there's still a risk. At the same time, we know Bundesliga just came out. They are going to start May 9th, start operations. I don't know if that's going to be a definite time when they actually start playing games. But Germany has taken a position, and I think pretty soon Italy has to make a decision as to when is a time frame and when is a date to actually start playing. And then if it has to be pushed back again, they'll have to push it back. But it's all up in the air depending on how how it goes as far as how many people are still get infected, or the risk of new spread.
I mean, UEFA already said they're already suspended indefinitely till it happens. But we've heard, I think, who was Platini? I think he said they want the domestic leagues done first. I think that's the priority right now. So, like you guys were saying, this is just as of right now, like P, how you're saying with the Bundesliga, till it gets that's the best case scenario that day, unless it gets pushed further on. But it's right now, it's just a waiting game, and we're just trying to see how much longer this is going to happen until we actually see some results.
I saw some people getting mad at some of the leagues for putting dates on when they're going to return, saying it's insensitive to people dying and stuff. But I also heard the president of the Italian Federation was saying we need to have some sort of reference point that we aim for. Mm-hmm. And then if you get it pushed back, you see where it is, and that's it. So it's not a thing to say, oh, we have to start May 9th or Bundesliga. We have to start then. It's just you have to have some kind of plan in place in case best case scenario happens, and then whatever's the worst case, then listen, you push it back. It's fine. I think that it's kind of pointless in my opinion.
I'll tell you, Marco, my take on this thing.
Okay.
But, except for the first 5 or 6 teams that they're leading on the championship, nobody's actually rushing to start anything, because for the people of Metà Classifica, like in the middle of the range over there, and the people that they are risking to go back to the second division, you know what, they wish to freeze everything. Campionato is frozen. End of the story. The Liga is frozen. The Campionato is frozen. League One is frozen, and the English Premier is frozen. The Bundesliga and everybody else. So the interest is on Lazio, on the Italian Campionato. The interest is on Lazio, that they might take a chance to win. Lazio, Juventus, Inter, Atalanta, AC Milan, and maybe Roma. Those are the 5-6 teams that they might and Napoli. They're debating whether, they should restart, when and if, and what kind of a condition. But like Mike said before, it's just, a bunch of doctors, not even putting fictitious dates out there, because at the end of the day, it's going to be on closed doors, number one. And number two, like Marco said, you're going to be testing everybody coming back from their home, put them on quarantine. What if some of those guys coming back, they're positive? What do? You wait another 3 weeks?
Yeah, exactly.
You just kick them on the bench, or you just tell them to stay home? How do you do that?
That's why I say it's kind of pointless for us to talk about, because we're all just throwing ideas that none of us know. Yeah. None of us know what's going to happen. So in my opinion, it's just so pointless because we don't know what's going to happen. They do say, I think the only real talking point is that we're very likely to not see fans in the stadium for the rest of the year because there's just too much of a risk in bringing 80,000 fans, 60,000 fans into all stadiums
together,
which I'm totally okay with. And I think it's probably the best situation. If we could get football back and they could prove that, listen, it's safe if we can contain everybody in one area, if they only keep it in a couple cities, they limit the staff, nobody goes inside places. Okay, there's no fans. Yeah, it's going to take a financial burden, but at least you'll have TV. We'll be able to watch the games
little by little,
and not take the biggest risk possible, because we also don't want to start this right now and then in September or October it comes back and then it creates a big situation. We have a lot of questions. They're obviously not tailored around this, but we start every episode talking about the latest or whatever. I saw in Eurosport today, they announced that the best player of the Serie A the past 30 years, who do you think they voted as the best Serie A player of the past 30 years?
The past 30, Serie A.
30.
Italian 30. or non-Italian included?
Doesn't matter.
Okay, like the best what? Best 5, 10?
Best one.
Oh, best one. Oh, boy.
The best player.
Anybody have a guess?
I would say Cassano.
I can guarantee you Cassano did not win it.
Now, Anto, who do you really think?
I would say the best 30, you would say 30 years, right?
Yeah, since 1990.
Did he play Naples?
No.
I will say Platini.
Play for?
Give your guess first. Okay. Give your guess.
Yeah.
Platini or Zidane? Too French. Platini or Zidane?
All right, Gaetano, what's your guess?
Baggio.
Peter?
Peter, you probably saw.
I saw it, so I'm gonna stay away from any
Oh,
comment.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Respect for that.
Yeah, it was between.
I hope it's not an Inter player.
It almost
He
was.
was an Inter player.
Jeez.
No, what almost? It
PIRLO,
was.
maybe.
All right, but I meant it was between El Fenomeno and Baggio, and Baggio won their voting.
My man Gaetano killing it.
Wow.
Good choice.
Number 1, Baggio, right?
Yeah, they gave Baggio the best.
Casano went
who
third
was
or
it?
no?
You know,
Third.
Casano
Cassano
actually.
was third from last.
Cassano, which number was that?
My dad just said it.
Listen to me. You will be so lucky even to shine Cassano's shoes, and even the underside of his shoes, not the top, the under part of his shoes. You will be so lucky.
Who wins there?
Yeah.
Listen to me, guys. Listen, just to pick up what you were saying before.
Oh,
you know,
God.
the economic impact of this whole thing, what it's going to be. It's going to be a real nightmare. You know, now is transfer season. We're already starting to see on the Gazzetta all of those names being associated with one team or another. You know, at the discount price, this is a parametro zero. This is one like a free transfer. This is going to be rumored to come to Roma or to AC Milan or to Juventus. I got news for you. I said all of those teams that they're sticking their neck out to buy all of those expensive players, they're going to regret it. Because number one, the season might not even start, okay? And number two, you do not want to have priced good sitting on the sideline waiting for something to happen. If you sign them, you have to pay their salary. Or you cannot really write, okay, yes, we'll sign you, but we'll pay you only if you play or if the league starts. It's either you win or you out. In other words, do you understand what I'm saying?
But nobody's signing any players right now. This is talk for the future.
For the future is now. The future is now. Hello? English. The future is right now.
What were you going to say?
Where's the mask for the future?
I believe that the season has to end. Okay, I don't believe that you leave the season like this and then you start a new season. You wait. You get the best scientists. You let them tell you you need to wait another month. Wait another month. Wait another 2 months. Who cares? Who cares if you go to the end of July? If you go to June, July, even if you go to July, so what? Play July and August, end the season, and then in September you start the new season. So what? You're a few weeks behind, but play the games that you're supposed to play. If you can make it safe for the players with no fans for the time being, then as long as it is safe for the players, they're all healthy. They all, if they have to be, like you said, before you go to camp, you have to stay in quarantine for 14 days. You wait for 14 days so that everybody that goes to the camp is healthy. And then you start from there and you make sure that you finish the season and then you start the new season. This is the way, you know, it's going to be this year, but the season should be finished.
I agree. And I think I saw Ranieri was a little bit, I don't want to quote him wrong, but I think he was upset saying that no matter what happens, the league is not going to be fair. And I think like what you said, it's not ideal, but it is the situation that we're at. And I don't think ending the season would be the right solution. And like you said, I agree with that. If we got to play in July, finish it off, and then you start the new season. Because this whole thing has been like kind of, I'm not saying it's a break or a vacation, but it's kind of been, you know, downtime for a lot of the players, which can be used to push to the next season.
Listen, for this year, everybody is suffering. So it's not that we might not have vacation this year. This is going to be for a lot of people out of a job. Millions of people are out of a job. People go from paycheck to paycheck to make a living. Hey, if you don't have vacation this year, you live with it. This is it. When you go back to work and you keep going until the end of the year.
If you go back to work.
If you go back to work. But we're going to go back. It's not if, it's when. We're going to go back to work. So it's just a matter of, it's going to take a few more months. Let it take a few more months as long as it is safe.
God,
once you go back.
I'll kill myself if I stay an extra couple of days over here. Jesus.
We all got to do our part, though. So if it means a couple more months, then if we don't do that couple more months, it can worsen. It could be 6 or 7 months. So might as well, you know.
mean a couple more months for the Serie A to start, or for us?
I'm saying for us, for regular life too.
God, Mike.
Well, we don't know. We don't know.
Yeah,
Antonio.
exactly.
So that's the thing. We have to just bear with it. In the end, you know, there's a lot of people that are like Gaetano said, without a job. They're sick even. You know, families dealing with different people in the hospital. So I mean, there's worse things that can happen than being stuck at home.
Yeah.
And we just have to stay positive. You know, we have to have hope.
Right.
And hopefully football can be one of those activities that at least, you know, even if the fans might not be able to go to the stadium, we can watch it on TV, and it could be something to at least take our mind off of this tragedy and what we're going through right now.
I hope on a regular TV, Pete, instead of a pay-per-view, because the countries, they should be nice enough to say, hey, guys, I know the hardship that you're going through. We're going to broadcast all of those games for you know, no premium, an extra premium. In other words, it's not going to be Sky charging you €3, $10, or whatever the case might be.
You live in America. There's no Sky.
I know, but for the Italian, hey, this is the Italian football TV, paisano. So what I'm trying to tell you, there are some Italians that they understand and they speak English better than us.
Well, I understand what Antonio is getting at, because a lot of people, especially in Italy, the South in particular, they don't have any cable TV, Sky, to watch games. They'll go to the bar to watch the game, or the local betting place. So I understand where Antonio is coming from. People, if you have to encourage them to stay home, maybe put it on Rai, which everyone, I think there was 90 point something % of people that have Rai at home. But of course, these are things that have to be discussed, because in the same time that you say, okay, they should make it free for all, that's also income coming in for Serie A teams.
They don't need income, Pete. They don't need it.
Serie A teams, maybe not necessarily, but I would say the bottom half might need it. So it all depends. But I agree, if in that case, you know, give it to the people, so that way at least it's something like we were discussing to get it off their mind and be able to watch the soccer game from home.
I don't know about you guys, but me personally, every night before I go to bed, I'm just binge watching old highlights videos,
classic games,
and
or something.
I've gone down such a rabbit hole of old matches that it's actually amazing. I'm watching games and I'm watching players who I haven't seen for years, and so many good games and so many different teams and so many different players. And you know, it's one thing that actually opened my mind a little bit about, like, I've been watching a lot of old players that we consider legends. And, you know, sometimes I felt like I've gotten really mad at players when they make mistakes. Like currently, like when I'm watching, I'm like, oh, come on, they're not as good as they could be. But now I'm watching some world-class players, and I'm watching like the full-length highlights, like 15-minute ones. So they show even plays that they miss in front of the net. Mm-hmm. You know, great players, even Del Piero, who made mistakes. And it's kind of
they don't just show the goals, right?
Exactly. Yeah. It's kind of opened my mind where I'm like, all right, listen, even some of the best, they've missed sitters or they've missed one-on-ones. Have you guys been watching any replays or any old highlights?
I watched the semifinal and the final of the World Cup. I gotta tell you, I seen, like you said, you know, great players like Totti and Del Piero making a very not stupid mistake, but senseless, you know, passes that they should, you know, normally right now you will not see them making. But back then in 2006, I guess it was okay. But you know, even rewatching games like that and knowing the final outcome, the build up inside your body is still not almost the same, but close. When I saw Materazzi, you know, and Zidane getting at each other with Zidane, you know, head-butting him on his chest. Boom! I said to myself, that's it, you stupid French. You're done. So, and, you know, seeing the celebration of winning the cup, the World Cup, man, it was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Everybody kissing the cup. Gattuso going bananas. I saw Nesta. By the way, Pete, Nesta was wearing 13, but on AC Milan wears number 5, okay?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay, now you know what my number 5 comes from.
I got you.
All right, so, you know, you
not Beckenbauer.
No, okay. No, listen, Beckenbauer is a great player, but he cannot make up to the greatness of Nesta, okay? So forget about Beckenbauer. Beckenbauer, he's got miles before he's going to get to Nesta, okay?
Dad and Pete, have you guys been watching any games?
I watched the 1982 World Cup game between Italy and Brazil when Paolo Rossi scored the 3 goals. What a game. That was an unbelievable team on both sides. You know, Falcao was playing for Brazil and Socrates was playing for Brazil Junior. I mean, they had an unbelievable team. Zico, and on the other side, of course,
Careca too, maybe.
No, Paolo Rossi. The only thing that team did not have 1982 was a center forward. Brazil. Everything else was unbelievable team. And
Falcao became almost a center forward. You see that the save of Zoff that made on the line over there on his header or something like that. That was unbelievable.
So that was an unbelievable game. I like to watch, most of the games that I watch are the World Cups and World Cup finals, you know, 2006. There was a game, a 1974 World Cup with Cruyff. I worked for the Dutch airlines, so I was a little partial for Holland and the Flying
KLM, right, Gaetano? KLM?
Yeah, 1974, Holland against Germany with Cruyff when Cruyff was playing. 1978 in Argentina, Italy had some beautiful games that they played. So yeah, I get into those games. I remember exactly what I was when I was watching that game. It takes me back in time.
Wait, Gaetano, you shared a story with us a long time ago, and I still remember to this day when it was the World Cup for Italy, and you were working for that Dutch airline, and you wanted to watch it, but you had work that time.
It was your first. It was right when you got the job.
Yeah, could you just explain that story? How you told us, because we loved it so much.
This was 1982. I started working for KLM. I have been there for a few months, and of course, the first 3 months you're on probation. And now it's the final of the World Cup, and I am Italy against Germany, and I'm working that day. What do I do? I mean, there's no way I can miss the game, but on the other end, there's no way I can call in sick. I'm on probation. So I got the courage to go up to my to the manager who was working that day, and I said, Mr. James, I said, you know, I've been waiting for this game all my life. Do you mind?
If I was the manager, I would have fired you on the spot.
So I said, do you mind? I'm going to be late a few hours. He looked at me and he said, of course. He says, how can I deny you? This is the final, the World Cup final for Italy. He says, I cannot deny you. So actually I went to work, and I went to work early, and I watched the game at work. We had a TV in the first class. We had a lounge upstairs, and we had a TV on the side. So I said, so that when the game is over, then I don't have to drive. I'm already at work, so I can just go and start working. So I'm already there. So I watched that game at work, and I was the only one there about an hour before the game started. By the time it was the first half, there were hundreds of people behind me that were watching the game. We
should have charged them a ticket, Gaetano. We should have charged them. Listen, the only thing I remember, that it's still stuck like this on my head. I think I must have told you guys. We were normally after the game, we were set up just to go fishing all night. And of course, you win the World Cup. I used to work for my father back then on a fishing boat, on a commercial boat. And all the young guys, they couldn't care less what the old people, they're telling you, come on, let's set up. I mean, even though my father was extremely happy, and all the fishermen in town that we won the World Cup, people going crazy. So what stuck to me, it was seeing people going bananas, just diving on the ocean. I saw one guy with a bicycle just running so fast, you know, pedaling so fast and just getting to the end of the port. And him and the bike, boom, together on the ocean. I wish I had a camera or a phone right now that just I could have videotaped it. I mean, it's still, the image stands on my head. I said to myself, I hope this guy here comes up. Sure enough, he comes up from the ocean, I mean, from under the water. But the bike stayed over there. So other people, they had to go with another boat and just with some sort of hook, just to get the bike from the bottom over there, which was maybe no more than 15 or 20 foot, and just got the bike out and gave the guy the bike back. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. Pete, have you been watching any games, any highlights?
Well, I saw the final, Champions League final 2010. I mean, that was the best moment of my life so far, because Inter won after 45 years, a special moment because, you know, my Inter, no, my rooting for Inter is a family tradition. So from my grandfather. So he used to tell me about La Grande Inter, the 60s, and you know the
La Grande Inter. It never existed. La Grande Inter. It was in Grande Torino, but not La Grande Inter.
You wish.
Your grandfather brainwashed you. So you need to pick up the team by yourself. Nobody has ever told me to pick up the team.
No, because Interista si nasce.
What the hell are you talking about?
It comes from within. It's a tradition that Milan fans can't get.
Oh yeah. Ooh. Thank God we cannot get it because we don't need that.
The only thing guys can get are 2 championships in Serie B. So.
Oh yeah. We'll take that too. We'll take that too.
I know.
Okay. And what about the other 7 Champions League on the rest of the world? How about that? You count
the rest of the world.
Can you count it with 2 hands?
No, 10. That's a 10 right there.
Well, I'll let you.
Dad, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, so last night I was watching Domenica Sportiva, and it's 50 years ago that Cagliari won the championship.
Yeah.
Championship. And of course, one of the great players from that team, they had a few great players, but one of the great players was Gigi Riva. He was a left wing who also played in the national team. 1970 scored in the World Cup, he scored a few goals. And they went back to 1969, 1970, when Cagliari won. And believe it or not, the year before, Fiorentina won the championship. And a few years later, Lazio won the championship. And, you know, it was nice to see. And then Torino won the championship too. That was all apart, maybe 4 or 5 years apart. And it was nice, you know, to see some of the teams like Cagliari, who you know, doesn't have a chance to win a championship. You know, to have those teams like Fiorentina, Cagliari, Lazio win a championship.
They were like the Leicesters of the old time, right, Gaetano?
Yeah.
Oh, 80. Sorry.
No, keep going.
I was just saying 84. Didn't Hellas Verona win also? So, I mean, from 70, I mean.
But it was in the 70s, there was like Fiorentina, Cagliari, a few years later, Lazio, and then Torino. And it was like that period where.
Right in that time.
Yeah, where those teams, they were ones. I thought it was nice to see some of those teams win the championship.
You know, it's really good to watch. And it's funny that you spoke about the 1982 World Cup. And one cool thing is, like, obviously we have like you to tell us about this, and you always have like the older generation who tells you, but it's also cool to see like the insides of it. And that's why I've been like going so deep. There's this show on Netflix. It's called Champions, but with a 10 inside. And what it does is they break down all the nations that have ever won a World Cup, and I think it's only 8 or 9 countries that have ever won a World Cup, and they create a storyline about like Italy. So how Italy won all 4 of theirs, and all of the good things and all the bad things that went into it. And one of the things in the 1982 World Cup, kind of like what I was saying before, how like you would watch Del Piero make a mistake or Totti make a mistake, was, and correct me if I'm wrong, Paolo Rossi, before, I think in the group stages, he wasn't scoring many goals. And then all of a sudden he won 1 game and then he took off. I think it was in the playoffs. Am I right?
So Paolo Rossi was coming back from a suspension.
Yeah.
Many people thought that he should not be there, but Berzot decided to take him. The first 3 games that Italy played, we tied all 3 games. I think one was Peru, one was Cameroon, and one was Poland. I'm not sure, but I think those. And it was like 0-0, 1-1. And Rossi did not score on those 3 games. He did not score. So now you're going into the next stage, and now you're in a group with Argentina and Brazil. Do you leave Paolo Rossi there, or do you just take him out? I mean, the guy hasn't done anything, but Berzot left him in there. He scores 3 goals against Brazil. Then I think he scores 2 goals against Argentina. He scored like 7 goals, one after the other. Nobody scored in the beginning. It is something that's surreal. It is unbelievable.
And that's why like I really love this, because it would interview Zoff, and it would interview all of these players who Zoff was like unbelievable. I mean, some of the saves that he was making, but like even that story, like I had no clue that I knew the Calcio Scommesse with him, but I didn't know that he went the first 3 games without scoring. And he spoke about just this mental thing where when you don't score, it just keeps getting to you. And we know strikers are very like emotional, where one ball goes in, it could hit off your back and go in, and then all of a sudden you just bang in 7 goals. So if anybody wants to watch that, it was really good on Netflix. And I've been watching, I watched Leicester. I watched the whole documentary of Leicester City and how they won. So there's been some really good moments and good times to reflect on some of the things that you probably wouldn't have found out about, or doing research on things that you wouldn't have seen for a really long time. And the last thing that I've been doing is I've been watching all these pranks, all the pranks on players. You could find them online. They are absolutely hilarious. Some of the jokes that they would play, you know, they put Gattuso, they put a pit bull in his car. I watched one with Pirlo. Oh my God. It was hilarious. You gotta watch this one. They made Pirlo's son made it look like that he went to go rob a store. And then when Pirlo confronted his son didn't remember. So he said, "What are you talking about? I have a video of you stole the money out of the cash register." They made a whole plot twist where they made believe that Pirlo's son got hypnotized by some random guy to go do this. And they have a guy go in to this hypnotist with Pirlo, and the dude starts making believe he's a dog because he thinks he gets hypnotized. And Pirlo's running away from this guy. He gets a water bottle. He starts throwing. You've never seen Pirlo like this. He's so scared. He's cursing at the guy. It's really funny. You should go check it out.
Scherzi a parte. Did you see the one with Totti? Totti's funny too.
Yeah, Totti's funny.
That was hilarious.
Totti's funny.
Yeah, those are good. Those are good. So there's some stuff that I've never seen that like now, because you're trying. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You're just trying to find it. But we have a lot of questions, and we have a lot of good questions.
Hey, wait, Marco, before you go ahead,
yeah,
you look at the Gazzetta right now, because I go on every day before I even look at my emails. All you see those wags, whether it's going to be Wanda, whether it's going to be the wife of this guy here or the girlfriend of that guy there. It's like the Gazzetta dello Sport is like a freaking porno newspaper here. It's like every day.
Antonio.
Yeah.
I'll give you $50 if you tell me what WAGS stands for.
WAGS?
Yeah.
You know, I hear the terminology. Okay, WAGS probably stands for Wanda and something else, right?
No.
Sure.
Wives and girlfriends.
What?
Wives and girlfriends.
Oh, wives and girlfriends. Oh, yeah. Shit. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I didn't know that. See, I learned another thing. Hey, Pete, thank you for, you're good. I'll tell you.
I try to offer you some money.
Yeah, you got me, Pete. Don't worry. Just expect something back soon.
Well,
get you.
Let's get going with the questions. We got a bunch. Maria asked, who do you think is overrated and underrated in the Serie A? Which player do you think is overrated, and which player do you think is underrated? Who wants to start this off?
Gotta give us a second.
Underrated, I feel like I can go with. I feel like Szczesny is kind of underrated. I feel like he helps Juve so much, and I feel like he gets overshadowed by Ronaldo. But he makes some incredible key saves. Without him, they would have been doing a lot worse than I thought. Overrated, I can't really think right now. But
okay. Overrated is Manolas. Okay.
That's actually a fair one.
Yeah,
it's actually a very fair one.
I would say that underrated would be Dybala, because Dybala hasn't been given the big window to show off what he's capable to do. He has to be at the mercy of this idiot of Sarri. You know?
Is it? What did you say? Is overrated, Dybala?
Underrated.
No, Dybala is underrated. Dybala is a starter. In every team on the world, Dybala starts except for Juventus under Sarri.
Anybody have a underrated and overrated?
Overrated. I'll finish mine. I think Romagnoli. I don't think he as. I don't think he's.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't think he's good enough for me.
Let me explain what that was. That was Michael being mad that you said Manolas, but you should have.
Hey, listen, but at least it's a little better than Manolas.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
For the money that he makes, Manolas, it should be, but it's not even close to Romagnoli. Not that I like Romagnoli, don't get me wrong. He's an AC Milan player, but if I ever pick up between him and Manolas, I'll pick up Romagnoli by far.
Dad, you got anybody?
No, I can't think of anybody.
P, how about you? Anyone comes to mind?
Underrated.
Overrated.
No, I would say underrated. There's a split, but maybe Cuadrado, I would say, because he's always been able to play different positions wherever he's been, and he's been able to perform multiple times. Even I would say Di Lorenzo being underrated because he's had a fantastic season. Overrated. See, I'm still trying to figure out. I guess I'm trying to look through the whole teams and stuff like that.
I'll give you a tip. Insigne is overrated.
Step back, Antonio.
Yo, there's a really, Antonio, you would love it. The prank that they do on Insigne, the guy is the most jealous person in the world. They mess with him and his wife. You would probably laugh. The entire time you were in my mind because I was just thinking about you saying all things about Insigne.
Yeah, it's overrated. He's a choker. To me,
you know who's kind of overrated? I'll give a good shout, and I hope I get proven wrong. I think Alexandro. I think we saw one season of Alexandro, and a lot of people. I still see online people saying that Alexandro is one of the best left backs in the world.
I don't watch a league.
And to me, he's not.
I don't think people rate him anymore.
Pete, you got any?
I don't know. You kind of stumped me over here. I'm trying to figure out, I guess, the best one possible. One of them said what I wanted to say, but then so I'm trying to see if I can get.
What are you looking for, Pete? Overrated or underrated?
Overrated.
Overrated. I tell you, Skriniar. This is not as good as you guys. That guy's a fluke.
No way.
I do think De Vrij got better than Skriniar this season.
By far.
Sure.
By far.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, Skriniar's is not ideal for a three-man system, and also he's been played on the left, which is not his favorite side.
Listen, all the overrated are technically all the fives, the center defender. Koulibaly could be another one of them. To me, I don't know.
He's having a bad year.
Maybe this season. I guess the question also is: are we just talking about this year? Or are we talking about
overall? Yeah.
I mean, overall, it's
temporary. Yeah.
Definitely, Manolas takes the first place for overrated.
Dad and Pete, you got an answer, or you can't think? You'll get back to us.
Right, we'll get back. I was looking at something else, and so.
Pete, you got it or no?
Oh man, I'm out for overrated.
No
All right. Basti asks, what team do you like outside of Italy if you had to choose a team? And now, Antonio, is yours Bayern Munich? Because we've seen the pictures of you with the Bayern jersey.
No. Not this year, at least. I kind of like, I have to be honest with you, Barcelona. I don't know.
Really?
Wow. I didn't see that coming.
Okay. Pete?
I'm not really a fan of anybody else, but if I have to pick one, I would say someone probably in England. Let's see. What's the team that I might like right now? Let's say Everton.
That was so random.
Ancelotti, right?
That was so random.
Why not?
I never expected that.
Keane,
Dad, you got can I guess yours? Are you gonna say Ajax?
No, he's going to say Roma.
Oh, how did you know that? That was very good.
You're only my dad.
Some question for Amsterdam. I went to see a game in Holland at Ajax. Oh my God, those guys are young. They get him young. They get him fast. They get him fit. They run up and down for the whole game. I love the Ajax team.
Can I guess your number 2?
Juventus.
Number 2.
Outside of it, can I guess?
Yeah, go ahead.
Boca.
Yeah, it could be.
Okay, that wasn't I'm not satisfied with your response on that one.
No, I was thinking more of your European, but When I see, when you see the Boca against River Plate game, when they play, I have never seen team run and play as hard as they do from the first minute until the last minute. Those guys, their legs are up to their chest. I mean, they go in with everything. They don't care whether they get the ball, the chest, your leg, everything in. And yeah.
I'm sending you guys right now. There's a really great documentary. You would probably like this. If you like River Plate and Boca, Copa 90 did an incredible documentary on that game. And as somebody who's obviously I've seen from the outside, they talk of like the political aspects, the ground aspects, the fan aspects, and they show a lot of videos. It's incredible. And I definitely, I agree with you. All right. We have a debate one. This one's good.
Wait, we didn't answer ours.
Oh, yeah.
Answer yours.
What's yours?
Well, outside of Olympiacos, obviously, that's what I support. But
Olympiacos. Is that a team, Olympiacos?
Yeah, they eliminated Milan in the Europa League.
Oh, he set you up. Oh. My God.
We're asking for that.
Yeah, that was bad.
Mike, you can talk like that right now because I'm not on the studio.
But excluding them, if I had to pick, because that's obvious, I'd probably pick Benfica because there's always a lot of Greeks on that team for some strange reason. So I always keep an eye out for them. Marco?
Portland Timbers for Giovanni Savarese.
You're right.
How about Europe?
No, I don't really have. I always like Chelsea because of
Italians, right?
Because of the Italian heritage.
Yeah.
But I more so I really appreciate teams that play good football. So when I was able to see different, I watched whenever Ronaldinho went to a team, I mean, I couldn't not love to watch the style of that. So I kind of liked to see different players, and I followed more players, in my opinion, than was teams. Because for me, it was only one team. But then outside of that, I loved really, really talented players.
Fair enough.
I watched
Go ahead.
El Clasico because that's what they're showing on BeIN every night. It's a Clasico. I didn't realize that Cannavaro played with Higuain and Robin and Raul.
Oh, yeah.
They're all playing in the same team.
Wow. What a team.
Hey, Marco, you brought Giovanni Savarese, the Timbers.
Yes,
this
I
is
did.
a question for Gaetano. Gaetano, what do you think is happening with the MLS? I mean, if Serie A and all of those major divisions are struggling in Europe and South America, what do you think is happening over here in the United States with MLS?
Right now, it looks like in Italy, everybody's getting paid as of now. But how long can you go with, is the government going to help out these teams, or we're all in the same boat? You're
talking about the American government, or you're talking about the Italian government?
The American government for the American teams.
You think that this is paying them, Gaetano?
No, right now everybody's getting paid. All the players are getting paid right now.
But not by the American government, but
no, by the owners.
The owners.
But how long can this be going on? At one point, they might have to stop. But everybody's training. It's a video training. They do it. They give you the assignment every day, and they check if you're training or not. And that's how they do it right now. If you could go out for a run, you can go. If you cannot go out and you have to practice at home, everybody's got a bicycle, and that's how they do it.
I got a good question over here. It comes from Gabe. He said, do you guys think would Roma have won the Serie A if they kept all of their best players? And he names obviously Salah, Alisson, Nainggolan, Manolas, Strootman. What do you guys think?
I think 100%, man. You just named like half the team right there. If they had those plus of players they already had, they're already competing for the Scudetto with Juve. If they kept those players and considering the form that they are with the other clubs that they're at, 100%. Yeah, I think they will definitely win the Scudetto.
Not only they would have won the Italian Champions, they would have won the Champions League.
Yeah, triplete, right?
Keeping Totti as a starter and getting Spalletti out of the team. That's the way they will have won the Champions League. Without Spalletti and with Totti over there.
Peter, what do you think? I mean, not about what Antonio said, about the initial question.
No, I think, yes, I think they would have been competing for a Serie A championship. But you also remember, without selling those players, you don't get necessarily players coming in. But with those four that you mentioned, I think they would have been Serie A contenders very easily.
So, by the way, as I've been researching that video that I watched, honestly, you guys have to watch it. It was taken down on YouTube, but I got you a back link. So it was taken down for some copyright.
coming in clutch.
But these guys, it's incredible, and you guys can find it if you just search. It's called The Biggest Game of All Time: Derby Days Super Classico Boca Juniors versus River Plate on AOL. They have it. The thing, I know, I give it specific. So, no, I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you guys. But I just want to, honestly, it's if you love the passion of it, you will absolutely love this video of Boca Juniors River Plate if you like it. All right, another good question, and this one's gonna create some fire in the podcast right now.
Fire.
The Rossoneri fan page said, where was Andrea Pirlo his best at? Was it AC Milan? Was it Inter? Or was it Juventus?
What kind of a stupid question is that? AC Milan, of course. What are you talking about? He won everything that he won. He was with AC Milan. He didn't win the Champions League with Juventus. He won a bunch of campionato. That's what we do with the campionato in AC Milan. We use them as a toilet paper. Okay?
Hey, toilet paper is in high demand right now.
Listen to this. Everything that he won, Pirlo, he won with the AC Milan jersey on. Okay? Playing with the greatest player, the greatest coach. Okay? That's it.
Okay, Pete?
He didn't win anything with Inter.
Well, first off, I wasn't going to argue that. I think I have to agree with Antonio.
Thank you.
Pirlo, when he was at his best, he was on that Milan team that had some, star players. And the fact that, when he won the World Cup 2006, he was on
the World Cup, he was an player still.
Yeah, the Champions Leagues that he won, and a lot of it had to do with Pirlo and his ability. You can maybe state a case with Juventus, but I think his best overall was Milan.
Fair enough. Gaetano, do you agree or you disagree?
It's difficult to agree with Antonio.
No.
Even though when he went with Juventus, they thought that Pirlo was not going to there were a lot of question marks, but he played some great soccer also with Juventus. Probably his best years, I agree, was with Milan.
I agree too. I also I remember telling you, Dad, that Pirlo was going to join Juventus on a free transfer. I remember we were eating a pizza and you said, there's no way that AC Milan is going to let go of Pirlo.
And you know whose fault was that? That imbecile of Allegri.
Yeah, okay. So then how come Pirlo joined when Allegri was at Juventus?
But wait a moment, because he had no choice. That guy, he ruined Pirlo. I mean, Pirlo was coming off an injury when he was on AC Milan, and AC Milan didn't want to sign him for 2 years, if I remember very well, for an extra 2 years deal. And Juventus, of course, picked him up for the 2 years, and they were able to cough up the money that Pirlo was looking for. But AC Milan didn't give up on Pirlo. They wanted to just look at him year after year. So they wanted to give him a 1-year contract. Am I right or wrong, Gaetano?
You're not right. And you say that Allegri ruined Pirlo when he was there. He took him to a Champions League final at Juventus. So I don't know what you're talking about ruined him. I'm gonna lend you Pirlo's book and you could read about it.
Listen to me. Allegri's an idiot. Please don't tell me. Allegri disgraced AC Milan. He made himself getting 4 goals from the best Sassuolo scorer.
He disgraced you so much that he came to Juventus and he continued a winning cycle and went to the Champions League final.
He didn't win anything. He won just the Campionato. He didn't win anything.
Milan's last Scudetto was with Allegri, no?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not.
Yes.
Yeah.
Antonio?
Yeah.
Oh.
Wait, what do you think?
I'm asking. I don't know.
He said Pete.
Oh, Pete.
No, of course he won with Scudetto. Yeah, go ahead.
What Antonio is saying as far as Allegri not wanting Pirlo is correct to a certain extent. That Milan had the chance to re-sign him. Allegri said that he didn't need him on the team, and he was coming off an injury and stuff, and he went to Juventus, and was able to keep on playing at a high level. But I don't think there was any real friction or conflict between Allegri and Pirlo, because then again, like we said, Allegri goes on and coaches Juventus. Pirlo was there, very professional, and also had another season where he won to Scudetto and made it to a Champions League final. So
you know why Pirlo wound up playing in Juventus without just overruling Allegri? Because Allegri never had any brain in Juventus. It was the lapdog and Agnelli making the decision. They told him, I said, whether you like it or not, Pirlo is playing. So that's why Allegri could not be overruled the way he was overruling everybody on AC Milan. That's why he gave up on Pirlo. Otherwise, Pirlo would have won another 2-3 Champions League on AC Milan instead of just playing a bunch of finals and losing with the Juventus.
I mean, it's better to play in those finals than to not qualify for the competition. But we'll move on, and
typical losers.
We'll go.
What a loser.
We'll go to the next. We'll go to the next question. I'll break it up. I won't ask a back-to-back of the same question. This guy Norca Milan says, if you could only eat one Italian dish for the rest of your quarantine, what would your dish of choice be?
Oh, gnocchi.
Minchia.
What's yours?
Oh boy.
Lasagna.
Lasagna, Gaetano.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say lasagna. I had it the other night. It was good.
You know me, what I like the most, I gotta tell you, it's not even a dish. I like the bruschetta, like bread, tomatoes, a little garlic, a little basil, and a little extra virgin oil.
Appetizer.
Favorite food, man. I can have that for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. Even while I'm sleeping, I can eat that stuff.
P?
I would say, regular pasta with sauce and meatballs and ravioli and all that good stuff. That's good. Ragu. I mean, a little bread.
Bolognese, right, Pete? The bolognese, right?
Okay, similar. More like a ragu when the
ragu
make it. So
wait, I saw. By the way, Peter's been sending us videos. He's been cooking up a storm during this quarantine.
Hey, let him learn a little bit more his skills because we're gonna make him cook when he go back to the studio.
Yo, Peter, are we gonna see a nice little cooking with Peter video or what?
Yeah. Actually, he's gonna come to the studio with already the recipe pre-made, and then we're gonna eat it, and we'll judge him. If we don't like it, we're gonna get his ass kicked over there.
P, we only have a microwave over here, so if you wanna do something else, you have to bring your own stove.
Pete, do you deliver?
At a certain cost, sure. I'm risking my life. So
that's true.
Well, the cost is 20% right now. That's what they charge.
Hey, we should have a cooking competition. Let's use the best among the four of us.
Oh my God!
I can boil water. That's all I can do.
Oh yeah? You can boil water?
That's about it.
Boy, you're good.
That's what we got to do.
Boy, you're good.
I'll make feta.
Mike, you don't know to make feta. Feta comes already pre-made. Okay?
Not pre-made. You gotta I don't know what you gotta do. But you gotta
I can make good cookies. I can bake. That's it.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
That's not good enough.
But you know, like you bake, like you get the intimate, whatever it is, you put it in the microwave, you put it in the oven for like 10 minutes and
Marco's
it comes
saying
out.
the ready-made dessert that you buy at the store.
So Peter, I think you would probably, but I want to see, honestly, I want to see a cooking with Peter video.
For sure.
Listen, I gotta tell you.
I'm talking to Pete. Why do you keep interrupting us?
No, listen to me.
This guy Pete's trying to make a cooking video.
Hey, listen to me. My wife is a witness. I'm not sure if she's still here. Are you here? She's not here. So anyway, my wife is a witness. Every time she has to cook some tomato sauce and the seafood involved, she always asks me because she trusts my judgment and I'm top. When it comes down to seafood, I'm top.
You're the only one in the house. That's why she's not gonna give it to the dog. So you're the only one there.
Oh, Mike. Oh boy.
Pete, what have you been making? Pete, tell us a little bit. Give us a little sneak peek.
I'm gonna start drooling.
Well, I made easy pizza. I made my grandmother's spinach rolls, so I was able to make that. Then I did a little pasta carbonara, spaghetti carbonara, spaghetti alla vongole. I was just mixing up. And then actually yesterday I helped cook. I did the lamb with a little oil, rosemary, and stuff. So
let me tell you something, Pete. Wait. How do you make the spaghetti? I'm a fisherman. How do you make the spaghetti con le vongole? I'm going to taste you right now. How do you make spaghetti con le vongole? How do you do it?
How do I make it? So what I do is I have a pan ready and I put oil and I chop up garlic and I leave that, and then I put the vongole all in there. And in the meantime, I get the pasta boiling and stuff like that. Then I put a little white wine inside. And I let it sizzle and then let it cook until it's ready to cook. Then I get the spaghetti, take it out, I use I take some of the vongole out so I have space. I put the spaghetti in there and mix it in with the olive oil that's in the pan already. Do a little shimmy and then put it on.
Wrong.
All right. That's what I do.
This is how you do. You did halfway right. So the Barese's way, you get the vongole first. Okay, first you boil them very quickly, because if there is one vongole that is wrong, you're gonna stink the whole spaghetti and the whole plate. So once you 100% sure that the vongole they half open and there is nothing comes out, no smell comes out, because there is a chance that one of the vongole, especially when they are closed up, might be rotten, and they might contaminate the entire dish. You sort that things out. If everything smells good, you just do what you said: a little garlic, a little oil. Le fai saltare a little bit. Saltare, you meaning with on the pan. Then the garlic, and then you boil the pasta like you said. A little white wine doesn't hurt, but if you have some prosecco, it's actually even better. So you just let them simmer a little bit, and then you draw the spaghetti, but you forgot even the most important things: the garnish, which is chopped up prezzemolo, because you're going to see the color of the green, right, mixed up with the shells of the vongole and the spaghetti that are pretty much on the white side, and you make it look like a nice dish. Okay, this is from somebody that doesn't cook. Okay,
yeah, guys, I think we're making a big mistake right now. Forget about Italian football TV. Let's make it Italian food TV. Peter and Antonio, you guys could cook. Me, my dad, and Mike, we'll taste it.
And listen, it stays IFTV still.
Exactly.
Italian food TV.
Well, for that I have to get paid.
We have a question. I don't know. This is a little bit of a difficult one, but Tony says, if you could start your own team with unlimited funds, what would be the city, the name, and your first signing be?
Ooh, this is an interesting one. You need a minute for this one.
Oh, that's easy. The city would be Brooklyn.
Okay.
The team would be the Brooklyn team.
The Brooklyn Italians.
No.
And
wait. The question says in Italy. In Italy. Which club?
Okay.
What would it be in Italy?
Oh.
There goes your idea, Gaetano.
So the team would be named Sicily.
Okay.
They would play in the middle of Sicily, and we build a stadium right by the center of Sicily, so that within an hour and a half, you can get to the stadium. And I would like to have Messi and Ronaldo playing the same team.
Wow.
Anybody else, or them two is enough?
Go ahead.
Go, Anto. Go.
My question was for you. Messi and Ronaldo's enough of the signings, or you need anybody else?
Donnarumma goalkeeper, then he's gonna get not Manolas though. He's gonna get Dybala. I'm sure he's gonna get Dybala. He's gonna get a few others. So
Donnarumma is not part of the plan.
Oh my God, what a nasty guy.
Anto, who would your team be?
Oh, my team would be on my region. It's Sicily. My team would have been the Puglia, the best region of all Italy. The best food comes from there. And the name of the team will be Bari Best.
Bari Best?
Bari
Migliore.
Bari is at the center of Puglia, and some of the most incredible sightseeing, they're all surrounding Bari and that area. So actually, if now that it's the Easter time for you, Mike, if you watch the crucifixion, the movie takes place in Matera. In Matera, it's like 40 minutes from Bari, in all of this beautiful natural, setting where you see caves coming down from 1,000 years, over 1,500 years, Mike. So everything it's not a build-up setting. It's just all natural over there. So anyway. So I will have on my team. I will have Donnarumma, of course, as a goalkeeper, and then I will have. Let me see if I can pick up some decent defenders.
Just one.
Yeah, it's
player.
one signing. It's one signing.
Yeah, one signing. Unlimited funds.
One sign, one player, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. I'll take Dybala.
Ooh,
Nice.
okay.
How about you, Pete?
Yeah, P.
Let's do Napoli, and we're gonna call it Neapolis, the old Greek name, right? Did I say it right, Mike?
It's actually in Greek. It's Napoli, which means
That's what he said. Isn't that what you said?
That's what you said.
New town, new city.
Yeah.
It means new
Exactly.
city. Yeah, that's when
That's
the
what you
Greeks
said.
migrated
Hey, Mike,
over
I'm
there.
learning from you, Mike.
There we go. Now you're getting smart.
All right. So what would the name would be Neapolis, and what would be your signing?
Well, since Sicily already got Messi, and what would you get, Antonio?
Dybala.
I said Dybala.
Dybala. So I guess I gotta go with Ronaldo's a little too old for me, so I'm gonna get Mbappe.
Shit.
Ooh, nice.
Wait a moment, Pete. Not even Lautaro and that guy over there, the other loser over there that you have in Inter over there, Lautaro. And I mean, if I would have taken an extra one, I would take Icardi too. I mean, I would put Dybala and Icardi, but you didn't even pick up Lautaro, Pete. I can't believe it. What kind of a fan are you?
I think Mbappe is better.
Oh, Mbappe is coming to Inter?
I said he's better. I didn't say
Mbappe is better. I don't know about that.
Marco, what do you think?
I mean, I was trying to think of a place that that doesn't have a team because I didn't want to just hop onto something. That's why I kind of like my dad. I like how you pick Sicily. You kind of connected them. But the one city that I think of that I love is Venice. Obviously, they got Joe Tacopina, but if you could give them unlimited funds, and funnily enough, the one player, and I would name it Venice. I would name it Venice, whatever it's FC, Venice Calcio, whatever. I would name it Venice. And I like Peter signing. That was the guy who I was thinking of, Mbappe, because you get all the kids to want to become Venice fans, and all those guys are going to want to play with him. And the marketing that you would do, if you could get it, I would take Mbappe, and it would be Venice.
That's interesting.
You got somebody, Mike?
Yeah, it's probably gonna have to be in the south, probably close to Peter's team. We're gonna probably be rivals, close to Napoli for sure. I didn't think of a name, but it's probably gonna have to be like Nuovo Grecia or something. It's gotta have some Greek.
Grecia's not in Italy.
Magna Grecia.
Magna Grecia. We can say
Magna
like that.
Grecia. Yeah.
And for a player, I don't know. I was thinking it had to be a Greek player first, but now I have unlimited funds. So, and you guys stole the best players because I went last. So it's gonna be.
Lautaro will take Icardi. Hey.
No, not Icardi.
You're not gonna take Manolas? You're gonna turn your back? The Greeks are supposed to stick together.
Manolas isn't that pricey though. I said it.
Who would it be?
If it wouldn't be a Greek player, it'd probably have to be like who's on top of probably like a Neymar or someone just because there's no one else available. I would have got Mbappe, but you guys took him.
Hey, Neymar doesn't even look Greek, so that guy is not Greek. So,
yeah, I know, but if it wasn't a Greek player, I'd probably have to pick him.
All right, we have one really good question right here. If you could change one result in your club or country's history, which match would it be? Ooh. This might take you a little. I mean, if you got it on the spot, we'll take it.
I know that away.
Okay, what is it?
It's 2005. Hey, be quiet over there, you old man. Listen, it's the final that we lost against the Manchester United 4-3.
No, you mean Liverpool.
I mean Liverpool.
Yeah.
The Champions League that we lost against Liverpool 4-3. It's still hurting. Believe me. The wound, it never heals. It never.
Anto, can you tell us a little bit about it? What's the story? You remember watching the game? What was your mindset?
Tell us. I was watching the game. We were winning 3-0. The best team that we had on the floor. And
what were you doing at 3-0? Did you think the game was over?
No. But I said, hey, come. I said, we're gonna. I thought that we were going to win 100%, but I said, hey, they can get close to 3-2, and then we're gonna pull it through, and then eventually we'll end up raising the cup. But when I saw Gerrard scoring, that was it for me. He scored a beautiful header. And then when I saw Shevchenko missing on the line closer to the end just to put the game away, and then they scored the 4-3, that really wrapped me out. And I was pissed. I'm still pissed, believe it or not. I'm still pissed. And not just me, I think all AC Milan fans, they will die regretting not having won that Champions League. Even
luckily, they got the revenge.
We won the next year, but
2 years. Yeah.
2 years, yeah.
Peter or Dad, you have one that you're in mind?
Italy, Brazil, 1994 World Cup, 0-0. Went to penalty. That was the one that if we could.
1994, Gaetano, not 1990.
1994.
94.
Yeah,
Remind everybody what happened.
United States, Italy, Brazil, Los Angeles.
Baggio missed the penalty, Baresi missed the penalty, and that was it.
That hurt it for a long time.
Was it because Baggio missed the penalty? Because I thought when you said Italy in the World Cup, I immediately thought about the game that you told me about that was lost in the final seconds where they didn't clear the ball. They tried to play it.
They weren't possessing the ball, right? You said?
Yeah, versus France.
France, it was Trezeguet. You know what? When I watched the final.
It was the European Cup.
Yeah.
Was it? Okay.
That was Cannavaro mistake, believe it or not. That was Cannavaro mistake during the European Cup. Trezeguet punished us.
So we are winning. There is 34 seconds left on the clock.
Right.
And Totti's got the ball in the corner, all the way up on the other side of the corner. We lose the ball, 34 seconds left. The game is over. We lose the ball, long ball into the area, and
Cannavaro misplayed. Trezeguet takes the ball, it goes around, boom.
And they scored, they tied the game 1-1, and then we lost in the
overtime.
Extra time.
Hey, Trezeguet made up for it 6 years later. So.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
No, you weren't.
Yes, I was. I just saw the game the other day when he hit the crossbar.
Peter.
I mean, it's a historic day in Inter memory, but it's also a good day because it was the first day that Inter won the triplete, one of the trophies that led to the triplete. But May 5th, 2002, I remember it. That was the day that Inter lost the last day, the championship to Lazio 4-2. And we were actually winning in both times, 1-0 and then 2-1. I remember because I was watching the game with my brother and my grandfather. I had actually full face paint and everything. I was a little kid. So, we were excited. It was going to be the first championship since 1989. But we weren't able to pull through. And then, of course, Juventus won at the same time. Of course, it also hurts because
I was happy there, Pete. I was very happy.
Step back, Anto.
But I think also led to, history could have changed because all that Calciopoli happened as a result also, and then Moratti at the same time because of his love and wanting to win so badly, he was always buying and selling players like if it was nothing, and we lost a bunch of players such as Seedorf, and the list goes on, based off of those moves, based off of not being able to win the championship. And I think if you had that stability of winning something, now you can build off of that team.
I have two in mind. The first one that came to my mind was Juventus, the Champions League final 2017.
Madrid, right?
Against Madrid, because I think that the team was better than that. They deserved it. I thought that the team was much better. And obviously, even the one that they came back and lost. But you have to choose a final. Obviously, I would have chose the one where Real Madrid, we came back 3-0 and then they gave the penalty at the end. But the other match that I was thinking about, and this was a team that had my heart a lot, was Euro 2016, Italy versus Germany, where we lost in penalty kicks. The only thing is I don't want to choose a Euro. I wanted to choose a World Cup or a Champions League. But the Euros, that team, what they were doing with Conte was nowhere near what the world champions of Germany were at the time. So that team really had my heart. And I remember Barzagli after the match crying. And he said, the reason why I'm crying is because nobody in history will ever remember the incredible things that this team did. And I remember when he said that, I felt it because that team beat Spain. They did incredible things with not incredible players. So there's still a lot of regret in my heart from that game.
Wow,
hey, Mike, can you Google this for me, please? Because there is another one that I wanted to say. AC Milan lost. I know Peter is going to be happy about this, against Hellas Verona. Just that they were leading the Campionato on the last game of the year.
What year?
and I'm not sure, I think it's 90-80 and change. And then we wound up losing against the Ella Verona away, and they cost us the campionato, the championship.
Is it 19? I don't know.
When
I'll
Hellas
look.
Verona won?
Yeah.
1984.
84, right?
Wow.
That's very quick. Anybody have any good stories? Like I like those. Dad, for you, when Italy was here in the USA, you have any good stories about the World Cup or anything?
Not for the World Cup that was here. I know that I had. So they gave me 2 tickets for a game, and they gave me the tickets the morning of, and it was Italy against Bulgaria, right? It was, and I could not find anybody to go to the game with me.
Man, you should have asked me.
I made so many phone calls, and it was the morning of. It was like 3 hours before the game. They gave me the tickets, and I went to that game, Marco, with Nonno.
Wow.
That's why I went to game. He came, and that's why we went to watch the game.
I went to watch the Norway game.
We got there, and the game was almost started, and I was running. I said, "I'll see you inside the stadium."
I have a funny story, 2 funny stories. One is in 2006 when Italy won the World Cup. At halftime of the final, I was on 13th Avenue watching the game in one of the cafes, and this guy, the guy that does the sausage and peppers and the feast, he jumps on a car and he starts dancing on a car, and I thought that he knew the guy, but he didn't. And so the car that's like honking, going crazy, and he starts like accelerates and then brakes really quick, and the guy falls off the car, and the guy's flipping out, and everyone's going crazy. And thankfully, it didn't lead to Italy losing or any bad luck, but that was funny. And then the second time, since 2006, right, I was able to, drive. And 2010, Italy had the shit tournament. So I was like, oh man, I'm not gonna be able to go around and honk my horn or whatnot and celebrate. But 2012 comes along, and so in the after the semifinal win versus, was it Germany? I think, right?
2006, Pete. Not
2012. 2012.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah. 2012, the semifinal, we win and we go into the final versus Spain. I finally was able to drive, and so I had my first car was a Nissan Sentra, and I had like about, I kid you not, 10, 11 people in the car who was hanging from the window, who was all packed in the car and stuff like that. And my horn blew out from all the time I was honking. And during the time we were going around, I actually got into a little bit of an accident, but the guy in front of me was celebrating too. He's like, it was nothing, because I was going so slow anyway. But that was my first experience.
Thank God that was not me. I would have got out of the car and kicked your ass.
And P, you reminded me of Euro 2012. That was an incredible. That I'll never forget. It was such a vital time to watch Pirlo in that tournament. Was like watching art being painted. If I can imagine what the great Michelangelo doing his work, it was like watching Pirlo in that time, because I was also developed enough where I could really truly understand the beauty in what Pirlo was doing in that tournament.
What do you mean you were developed enough? Your brain was starting to function a little bit?
No, I mean, a lot of the games when you're younger, you kind of just get excited by the goals or, a hard tackle or something. But you could understand the brilliance in the smallest of details that Pirlo did. I think my soccer IQ was up there enough to understand even if you watch Pirlo, if you go watch his highlights, the feints that he does. Sometimes he pretends that you almost don't even notice. He pretends to do a back heel, and it completely throws the player off. It was just, he was on another level. And then the way that he chipped Joe Hart in 2012 was just beautiful. Antonio, you have any funny stories or anything crazy?
No, I remember coming off the 1994 World Cup after the game with Norway that we tied 1-1. It was taking us almost 3 hours to get out of there, of the parking lot. And we started to get through the tunnel again. I think it was the Holland Tunnel. And some of the Norway's guys, the Vikings, they had some of those funny hats with the horns and all the stuff. And some of them, they're starting to make fun of us. And there were a few other cars that they let them have it. Man, they got very close to them. They're starting to really curse them out. And, you know, it was a little scary but fun at the same time. But, you know, for something like that, for no team winning or losing, thank God we didn't lose. Because if we would have lost the game, you will probably see some violent actions going on over there. But I remember that, you know, it was a huge waste of time just going with a car over there. When you watch a game like that with the giant stadium filled up to the capacity, you want to take public transportation to save 4 or 5 hours. We spend more time driving to the game and coming back than to watching the game itself. You know?
I mean, I meant a story specifically about like the game, but I mean the park game that was interesting too. Anybody else got anything else that's on their mind?
Wrap it up. Oh yeah, just for the record.
Yeah.
So 1982 World Cup. The first 3 games Rossi did not score, and then we went in a group with Argentina, and he did not score. He started scoring against Brazil 3 goals. The next game was Poland. They scored 2 goals. The next game was the final against Germany. He scored the first goal. So he scored 6 goals, one after the other. And he was the leader for the World Cup.
Yeah, he just said it 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, we said this before.
Out, man.
No, but I said that he scored against Argentina. He didn't score against Argentina.
Oh, okay. All right. So we'll give you a pass for this time. We'll give you a pass. Hey, by the way, I've been reading on the papers before we close down. All of these transfers, the rumors of transfers.
Okay.
No transfer right now.
There is no transfer? I mean, I've been hearing Pedro going to I don't know, I think Napoli or something like that.
Who's
or,
Pedro?
From Chelsea?
From Chelsea.
Yeah, from Chelsea, yeah.
Okay.
And Inter wants, you know, he's not giving up 100% on Icardi. They still think that they're going to get 70 million from, from Icardi. I don't think they're going to get as much unless they take Icardi back. You know what's going to happen? They're going to let Lautaro go because Lautaro is almost signed up already for Barcelona. And they're going to wind up keeping Icardi back, taking Icardi back and paying double the salary. You know?
Right. Which world do you live in?
I spoke with Vanda. She's the agent. I spoke with Vanda. I'm telling you, she's the best. She's much better than Mino Raiola. Oh, by the way, Mino Raiola was dropped by Insigne. He said to him, I said, see ya. Okay? Pack up and leave. So this Mino Raiola, I think he's been not a good agent. So Pete, I think we're going to put the money. I'm going to put my money on you just to sign some of those superstars. Okay, Pete? All right? Good. We're going to call you Peter Raiola. No, forget about it. No, I don't want you that last name. Peter Penalty is good enough for you. Peter Penalty is good enough.
Let's go. The lasagna is waiting.
Oh,
okay.
That's okay.
Okay, guys. Well, I'll end it with this. It was Lippi's birthday, and with a famous quote from him, where he talked about the 2006 team and what it really means to be a coach. And I think Antonio will appreciate this, so I'll say it for him. Winning is not about choosing the best technical players. It's about choosing a team. It's about choosing the best to create a team. I'm convinced in 2006, I didn't call up all the best players, but I called up the guys who were going to win. Football is like a mosaic. You have to put all the pieces together.
I agree with that.
Who's he talking about? Who did he leave off that was so good, that was better than what we had?
Cassano.
Yeah, I would have to go back and.
What?
Vieri was hurt, right? Wasn't Vieri hurt?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, Grosso. I mean, Grosso was not a big name at that time.
Not even. What's his name?
He also had the guy from Roma, the midfielder.
Perotta.
you know, he was not.
Riccardo was not even one of those guys.
Riccardo was not a big time player.
Quinta, he called up.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't.
Yeah, Quinta, that's right.
I meant more who he didn't call up. I didn't remember anybody that was like incredible that he left out. But I guess Cassano, I don't know what happened with that.
He must have been injured. Oh, I know why.
He was injured over here.
Yeah, Cassano would never be able to put it.
For the next time, and go look in 2006 who was who he left out. I don't remember right now.
I think he left out Cassano because Cassano's attitude. You're right, Marco. You think you were making a joke, but he left him out because of his attitude. Cassano was.
Oh, trust me, it was not a joke. Okay, we're good.
We got everything. That was like close to an hour and a half.
We're good.
And I think we said everything.
Maybe Maldini. Was it Maldini? I'm trying to look up.
Maldini. That was the year before or 2 years before he decided.
He retired.
Yeah.
Yeah, he retired. I remember that. All right, guys. Let us know in the comment section below if you enjoyed when we're going to do our next one, and we'll try to check some players that were. As always, rate the podcast with 5 stars. Yep. Stay safe at home. Wash your hands and stay away from anybody.
Until the next podcast. Let's go. And let us know your football stories down below too, like we shared it. We want to hear yours too.
Perfect.
Hey, by the way, just to finish. For all the people that they lost a close relative, a friend, or a cousin, or parents, or grandparents, or anything like that, we're still thinking about you guys. This is just a way for you just to keep your mind off. That the fact that we didn't mention anything doesn't mean that we're not thinking about it. So, wherever if you're grieving, that means we're grieving with all of you guys. So, all the best. I will an extra prayer for all the IFTV fans that they lost. Or they having people in close related people to them in trouble right now fighting this nasty virus. Okay.
Thank you.
Good. Okay. All right. Awesome. All right. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Guys.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Forza Verona.